involving guitars. I was in Thailand, a lot of travelling, you see, and I went up to the north of Thailand with my friend Dave Wilson, and we were just kind of being in Thailand, having fun, and we were pulling to an area called the Golden Triangle to get drugs. I mean, not to get drugs. It was a place where they made drugs. You know, it's notorious anyway, it's right at the top. But we were driving up there, we were getting close on this little road in our Jeep, and we saw a sign at the side of the road that said, the long-necked Karen people village. The long-necked Karen. Wow, that sounded really interesting. So there was a sign at the side of the road, so obviously you could go into the village. So, oh, you got it up already. This guy's fast. We drove down into this village, and all the people came out, and of course what they wanted to do was sell us bracelets and necklaces and batik dyed clothing and all this kind of stuff. I expect you've got some, right? I said, yeah, you do. She said, yeah, she's been there. So we entered in this village, and we're in this crowd of people all trying something nice. I started to hear singing, and I heard a guitar playing, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting. Where's that coming from? And it was sort of one of the huts at the end of the village. So I left the crowd and I walked up there, and there was a beautiful long-necked Karen girl. And she had a guitar and she was singing. There she is. Wow. So she didn't say anything to me, she just kept playing and singing a guitar. I was completely entranced by this sort of miraculous event. So I sat down on the bench next to her. I didn't really know what she was doing, but she was into her thing, you know. And eventually I said something, oh, I like your singing, I like your guitar. She went, oh, thank you very much, I'm pleased to play for you. She spoke perfect English. And so we had a long conversation about music and the guitar and all that, and it was very convivial. We're having a nice time. I mean, I'm in this village with the long-necked Karen. I can't believe that, you know, she spoke English like that. It's like she'd been educated at Oxford in England or something. But eventually I said, can I try your guitar? You know, I played a little bit. So she handed it over to me. This thing had 4 strings on it, not 6, and it was in a very strange tuning. I didn't sound too good on it. In fact, I sounded like shit, basically. I handed it back to her and she started making music again. So, you know, then I started to have this lust for the guitar. I want the guitar. I've got the devil in my ear going, you've got to get that guitar, get that guitar. The other one, no, I can't take her, she's a poor village girl. Get the guitar. No, I can't. No, she's innocent. Get the guitar. You know, so I'm like, this argument's raging in my head. Eventually, the devil wins. And I said, can I buy your guitar? She says, yes. She puts it straight in my arms. So, oh, it doesn't seem to be a problem. She's willing to part with her lovely guitar. I mean, it was really interesting looking, very primitive, but sort of artistic. I have it at home. So then I go, how much am I going to pay for this? You know, after, you know, $5,000? No. $500, $1,500, $1,000, $800. I'm going backwards and forwards in my mind, you know, I don't know what to give her. But in the end I said, $50? Okay, very good, very good. So I give her $50 and I get this fantastic looking instrument. And so that was sort of the end of it. You know, we said goodbye, all very sweet, see you again next year or whatever. And we drive off and I've got the guitar. And I sent it back to the US by FedEx. And I have it. So that's that story, but there's another piece to it. 2 years later, a friend of mine came into LA, where I live, and he's a famous classical guitarist. So we had lunch together, and then we went over to my studio, and we're sort of doing guitar stuff. We're looking at all these guitars, the usual stuff guitarists do, and then he says, yeah, well, yeah, you know, some interesting instruments. You travel much? Yeah, a lot. Africa? Yeah, went to Africa. Nice. India? Yes, we went there, did that, you know. Thailand? I said, yeah, went to Thailand. He says, well, you know, I had an interesting experience in Thailand. I said, really? What? He says, well, you know, I drove up the north, you know, towards that Golden Triangle place, and I saw that there was a village there that you could go to. It was called the Long-Necked Karen Village. I said, yeah, that's where I went. Right. He said, well, I went in there, you know, and the people came out with all the stuff as usual, but I met this girl in there and she was singing and playing the guitar. And we had a really nice time. So I said, yeah, great. And he said, well, in the end I bought her a guitar off her. Guitar. I said, wait a minute. I looked in her drawer, got the photograph. I said, was it this girl? He goes, yeah, it was her. Well, he said, how much did you pay for it? I said, no, how much did you pay for it? He says, come on, tell me what you paid for it. I said, $50. He said, I paid $5.
You owe me $25.
Okay, I had another story, and that's it. I won't keep yapping all that. I was in Indonesia. I was on the island of Bali. We just finished doing a big tour of Australia. I went with Stuart, and we ended up in this nice hotel in Bali. And we were there a couple of days, and then John Belushi turned up. You all remember John Belushi?
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
You should do.
Oh, yeah.
I can see you're the right people. There he is. Remember him?
Samurai!
So, we start to hang out together, and we're there for about a day and a half. And John says, you know, I think they've got those magic mushrooms on this island. What do you think? Magic mushrooms, yeah. And so we sat down and had a dinner, lunch I should say, and we had magic mushroom omelettes. And so then, okay, we've eaten omelettes, now what? So we decided to go for a drive. We're going to go and see this old ruin in the sea, in the ocean. So we got into this rickety old Jeep that I had that had no roof on it, and it was all a bit dilapidated, and we were on mushrooms, so nothing's happening yet. And we drive into the nearest town, it's called Denpasar, and it's one of those Asian towns where there's at least 5 million people on motorcycles or motor scooters coming at you all at once, and there's usually 5 people on each one. It's quite incredible. All over Asia this happens. And we're in the middle of all this, you know, and now we're starting to get this mushroom thing, and the steering wheel's turning to rubber, you know, and it starts to rain really heavily, like a rainstorm, tropical rainstorm. Maybe you have them here in Florida, but it was like rain I've never seen. It's like lead bullets coming at you from the sky. We get out of the Jeep, we go, oh, we've got to put the roof on, you know. The only way this sort of canvas roof could go on is with this big rusty nail that you have to push through a hole. We can't find the nail, we're completely fucked up. We're completely soaking wet, trying to keep dry. It's ridiculous, and we don't know what we're doing. But anyway, we carried on from there. We drove off down some track towards this ruin, and eventually we pulled over because basically no one can speak, let alone drive. And as we pulled over to one side, this van pulled right in front of us. Tarzan the Ape Man. That completely fucked us up. This was part of the deal. Tarzan's come to rescue us. Anyway.
Bizarre.
So we did go on from there. Tarzan came to us, of course. We played soccer with a bunch of Balinese guys. Anyway, that's the story. And I thought you'd like that. And but I got very much into the music of that area. It's called gamelan music. And I wrote a piece of music called Triboluminescence.